Good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. I am Iyori Folarin. Sorry, we passed the hour. Anyway, we're here now, so sorry about that. Now that the elections are over, I wonder, it seems to be something of a coincidence. There seems to be an upsurge in violence up and down the land. Over the weekend, there was the whole Zamfara issue. Zamfara killings. Then if you've seen the papers this morning, you'll see that all sorts of things are going on. Kaduna, violence has spilled over into there. In Lagos, Ambode, summoned the security meeting over the kidnap of a fire chief. It's just going, well, let me not say it's just going on and on, but let me first of all tell us quickly about our friend who is in the house, Tony Ofoyeton. Mr. Ofoyeton is a legal practitioner and he's DG International Institute of Professional Security. Good morning, Tony. Great to see you again.
Thank you.
Are you not surprised about these instances of violence? But before we even go in there, we're covering all of it, but the situation in Zamfara. Let's look at the report on that, and then we come back and look at other aspects of this situation.
2016, President Muhammadu Buhari visited Zamfara State, dressed in military fatigues, and approved the deployment of 1,000 troops to tackle armed gangs that had reportedly taken over a forest in Zamfara State. Also in March 2018, the president, in continuation of his visits to states troubled by insurgency, farmers and herdsmen clashes, and other forms of crisis across the country, paid another visit to Zamfara State. Despite these visits, deployment of troops and launches of military operations, the situation appears worse, with bandits still attacking villages in Zamfara, Kaduna, and some northern states.
These people, they are taking advantage.
Recently, the state governor, Abdulaziz Yari, said the only solution to flush out the bandits was the provision of adequate equipment to the military and a show of force.
The soldiers need to be really supported with the equipment that they can test at the time. I think the operation need to be done simultaneously. So we are surrounded by the forest. From Sokoto, we have Sububu forest around there. In Kaduna, Birnin Gwari, Niger, we have Kwembana, Lansado forest there.
The whole crisis is complex, but mining is part of it. We would want government to make it clear, publish a list of people who are legal miners.
Analysts agree a lot of issues are involved in this crisis and not just mining.
Legal mining has become a hot issue in Zamfara, and several people are involved. Peasants, bandits, top people in terms of people who have been in government and know about this.
The issue is about the banditry, is about the terrorism, is about the insurgent. That is just like what they are fighting in Gombe, in Borno, is the same thing that has come to Zamfara. That is the truth. It's beyond one person. It's beyond the state government. This is something of the federal government need to come in, join hands together with the state government to put an end to these killings.
Perhaps this will go a long way to enable such interventions as Operation Abin Kunama by the Nigerian Army and the Air Task Force for Operation Diramekia and the launch of Operation Puff Adder by the police bring banditry to an end in states presently affected. Maria Olashendi, TVC News, Abuja.
Okay, so Tony, if that wasn't enough, and as Maria was saying on there, it's actually spilled out into neighboring states. Then we get the news that bank robbers hit in Ondo State, for goodness sake. What do you make of a fire chief kidnapped in Lagos? Surely all of these, I'm not saying they're coordinated attacks, but does it surprise you a bit? Or have these things been going on but have been underreported because we were all engaged with the election? Or is this something following the elections? What do you think?
I think you are just right. Because of the level of manpower of the security agencies, all concentration was on the elections. And within that time, the bandits, the criminals, and the like were also strategizing. Incidentally, we don't still have enough manpower. But having said so, I think that it is high time also the security agencies started looking at security more proactively. Now, what do I mean by that? Now, first of all, where are the hideouts of these criminals? The forests. Now, it takes little or nothing for security agencies to clear the forest. Now, it will shock you that if they go into Operation Forest Clearance, one, you will discover their training camps. Secondly, you will discover their spiritual forces. You will also discover their hideouts. You will also discover even the shrine of even ritual killers, ritual dens, and the like. They are all in the forest. Now, these are things that I expect that by now, the government should do what is called a deliberate security policy on how to clear the forest. Now, it has to be done simultaneously with the immigration being involved, the customs to be involved. It will shock you at the end of the operation. Just give it a 3-month operation. At the end of the operation, what will happen is going to be as good as what happened in Lagos State, when Lagos State was determined to drive out armed robbers. If you remember, it was such that it was so simultaneous to the extent that armed robbers had to be moved from Lagos to Ogun State. From Ogun State, the Ogun State were not too happy with them. They moved them further to Oyo. I don't know what happened subsequently after that. Why? Because Lagos was too hot. Nobody is saying that you cannot rob, but don't be caught. Now, if you have that type of operation in such a manner that all the forests in Nigeria, they are mapped out, strategically mapped out, now what will happen is that Niger, Chad, Benin Republic, they will begin to play host to these people that are using the forest as hibernating abodes. Because at that point in time, they will not discover that. And don't forget that coming into the town will be a tall order for some of them. Some of them that have used the forest as their home for years. It will be difficult for them to be properly assimilated into the society without being identified quickly. Now, this is one major approach I am expecting that the government will really look at that possibility.
In regard to this approach, could you explain what you meant when you said should involve immigration, should involve customs? Because I'm thinking of it as a security operation. So even before I come to the vastness of these forests, just what was that about customs and immigration in what is essentially security?
To understand when it comes to immigration, it's the identification of who are the true nationals. Even if they are in the villages, even if they are in the forest and the like.
Trying to ascertain first of the nationality of these bandits and criminals?
Not just, but you will meet legitimate people in the course of your operation. You will meet legitimate people that are either farming or maybe because the proximity of the forest to their villages, they are hunting.
Okay.
You will meet legitimate people.
Okay, so you need these other professionals.
You would also meet contrabands. There is no way that all the security agencies will not work symbiotically.
Tony, what you're saying sounds good, sitting where I am here. But I imagine with all of these professionals, all of these eggheads, all of these, think tankers, this straightforward option would have been taken if it was something possible. You were talking about mapping out the forest. Nigeria has vast, vast land, a lot of it forests.
Now, you see, that is why we now need to do it, because the terrorists, the bandits you call the terrorists you call bandits, are now using that vulnerability to now begin to do what? Use it as a hiding point. Look at what happened even in the Niger Delta region. The problem majorly was the accessibility to the creeks. And that what made Niger Delta militancy to do what? To strive. Now, you see, you must understand that if you begin to demystify the hideout of criminals, they will think of alternative, and most likely the alternative may not be as striving as the main strength they have, which is the hideout. And the hideout as it is now, as far as terrorism is concerned, is right in, and it's everywhere in the world.
And so the question in Maria's report, and you also mentioned it, I believe, there's this whole matter of personnel, manpower deficit.
No, you see, technology has answered that. And we don't need that type of manpower that we're talking about again if we are ready to spend on technology. For example, drone can assess where...
We have drones. I mean, I've not seen them myself, but I'm just assuming. Are we not Nigeria? There are military zones. We have zones. And I hope no military person is going to contradict me.
No,
I'm sure we have
drones. We have drones. But there are different types of drones.
You mean we don't have the best type?
I'm not saying we don't have the best type. Now, there are drones that should be accessible to even smaller units. Okay. We are not talking of drone accessible to a whole security, maybe a whole military formation and the like, that one or two people controls from. You are talking of, mobile drone.
Okay.
Mobile drone that is accessible. For example, when you talk about convoy movement, and you hear things like ambushment. In contemporary security, it is embarrassing.
Yes.
It's embarrassing because these are things that drone can do and will be able to access 500 meters away from where you are to know if there are people around and all those stuff like that. Now, drones can be able to also help you, apart from the fact that Air Force would also be a major, the area surveillance and all those stuff like that. Yeah. There would be a backup, to the foot soldiers and all those stuff like that. See, you see, it is possible. If the government makes up it, you have National Boundary Commission. National Boundary Commission is able to delineate.
Were you going to say if government makes up its minds to do what is necessary? Were you going to say something like that?
Very well. If the government, look, when you talk about security as it is now, we need to apply it holistically without leaving any option. The issue of how vast Nigeria is not a matter of debate, yes, but it is doable.
It is doable. Let me bring up this other matter that you must be fully aware of. Take the situation they have over in Mexico, for instance. I'm just remembering that because the whole kidnapping business, the whole drug cartel business, these are big criminal operations that are able to take on a whole government. And it's because these guys are also running in billions and billions of dollars as well. So all the things you've spoken about, there's nothing those guys don't do. Now, I'm wondering, Tony, our own criminals, surely they're not on the same level as those ones over there. So they are able to fight the government almost to a standstill. But government being government, you know, it's very hard to defeat a government. But these guys are pretty much doing what they want, so much so that government has had to admit that whereas we can't eradicate all of these kidnappings and all of these drug we can significantly reduce it. So they're managing significant reduction. Tony, our own criminals on that level. And so what is our problem? We have a professional army, we have a professional police.
No, you see, the criminals too are professionals.
Because when you were talking about drones, I was wondering, they've told us all these insurgents are not illiterate. Yes. They don't have drones too, you think?
They do. They do. Now, they are not illiterate. They are sophisticated. In short, we are looking at a program that has to do with international influence in domestic terrorism.
Okay.
Now, these are areas too that the security agencies and federal government need to now look at. Who are their trainers? Who are the supplier of the arms and ammunition? Who are the supplier of logistics and the like? If you remember last year, the Chief of Army Staff banned some international agencies, you know, from operating even within the so-called Northeast zone and all those stuff like that. And because I remember in one of the programs here, I said, look, it is embarrassing if an international NGO would have to chauffeur a helicopter down to the territory of Boko Haram. If the chauffeur is not brought down, we'll spend some time there and we'll come back in the name of international aids and the like. If you feed my enemy, killing me and killing my people, you automatically become my enemy, irrespective of the laws, whether it is international law or domestic law that allows you. We don't know what they discussed there. They said they are going to give them medication under the UN treaty and all those stuff. We don't know the type of medication they are giving. We don't know the type of relationship they have. All we know is that they have free entry and free exit. Now, no police officer, no military officer, no security agency will accompany that helicopter down to Boko Haram territory. The next thing they come back and they tell you we have security information that the X and Z is going to be blown tomorrow. X and Z is going to come out, and security agencies, we have warned them. They didn't do anything. That means something is wrong somewhere. Now, these are areas that government will have to now do what? Come all out. Because once it involves lives of your citizen, you must jettison every impediment, be it legal impediment, be it moral impediment, be it juristic impediment, whatever form of impediment, except you are not paying the right value on human lives.
Now, we're talking right now about most of what you're saying, no doubt, relates to terrorism activities, banditry activities over in Zamfara. Maybe not exclusively, but a lot of it refers to that. When you now look at, I don't think they have a unified command, these bad guys. So look at them showing up in Ondo, for instance. Are not necessarily of the same pack, but criminals. The coincidence that these ones are even doing their own. 5 people, 5 lives were reportedly lost there. Over in Rivers State, they say cultists are carrying on.
Cultism,
but
armed robbery, they are different.
Okay, these ones are different.
Yes,
okay.
They are different because, as far as I'm concerned, they are ancient crimes.
Even the Lagos fire chief, part of that.
Yes, armed robbery, cultism, they are ancient crimes that you can only continue to minimize to the barest minimum. But terrorism is a modern thing. It's a modern concept, and especially in Nigeria, it is alien. It is now that we are beginning to, familiarize ourselves, and God forbid that we become familiar with terrorism.
What you seem to be saying, Tony, is that this thing is complex. It's complicated. It involves other countries. You talked about training. You talked about logistics. I don't know that all of that is necessarily within. When we think about these things, when we think about all these aspects to an enterprise, even a criminal enterprise. Did I get you right? Because you talked about international agencies, whatever they are, coming in there.
Non-governmental organizations.
Non-governmental organizations.
Yes.
They are able sometimes to go in, speak, but this is not unusual for, I don't know, highly influential or connected organizations. Sometimes they're able to embed people, like a reporter or something like that, all this whole business about the need to know. I see you smiling there. I say, look, this is the kind of thing that I'm talking about, right? And I'm always wondering that, come on, where are our Nigerian journalists? Can't they be embedded along? Because
I love that.
Christiana Mampo, back in her day, when she was a young reporter, a younger reporter, she still is a reporter. When she was a younger reporter, she would just show up in some trouble spot wearing military fatigues. Same thing with this dame from BBC. Where are our own? Why can't they go and, what's going on there? Is this a big difference?
You see, it is a big, in short, the difference are so much. But some of these things are not something we can discuss on air.
Yes. There are security
yes. But that's why I said that the DSS, they have a lot of work to do. And I'm sure that they are to their own extent doing their own work.
We've been hearing
Now,
that for so long. The
because,
DSS have a lot to do. Then people like you will come and tell us that intelligence is a very, very important component of this, our battle.
It is. But
where is it now?
It is.
Where is it now? Where is that intelligence now?
There is intelligence, let me tell you the truth.
Okay.
The issue is whether that intelligence is used.
Okay, okay.
The boys that are asked to go and bring information on field, they do good job. It is at the level of the executive execution of that information, having processed it to intelligence. That is where the problem lies. Information gathering is not a major problem to DSS or intelligence agencies in all the security agencies. They have first-hand information. What the information the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria has, I will tell you boldly that they know those that are perpetrating this act. Because the boys that are on the field give accurate or near accurate information. But whether there is the willpower or the political will to execute the suggestion is now another thing. Because different variables now come to play. The variable of religion, the variable of ethnicity, the variable of affinity, a lot of variables, international influences and the like, even the variable of international businesses now come to play.
But
look at what is happening in South Africa. For example, xenophobic attack is a major problem in Nigeria-South African relationship. But the issue is, why is Nigeria not doing anything? Because so many variables are coming to play. If we decide to take X and Z step, what is the number of people that will suffer in Nigeria vis-a-vis the number of casualties we are having? Now, no matter how you think, there are variables that must be considered. The same thing with when information and intelligence is processed and put on the president's table. Say, Your Excellency, this is what we discover. We discover that the head of this mission is maybe the President General of the whole of X and Z. Then you now look at the variable of who is this man? What is my relationship with him and all those stuff?
You know,
these are variables that are considered.
We don't want, I know we don't want to spend, and I understand when you said it's not everything that can be discussed on television. I understand that. But when security, you talked about first-hand, when security, sorry, I meant intelligence. When intelligence is being gathered, before the president's desk, I imagine there must be a central place where they put all this information. Their intelligence commanders will be able to read, interpret,
I think
and take action.
NSA is a central hub for now.
I see. So
Yes.
it's not something that because of intelligence, this particular commander is aware that they're going to, for example, I've crossed over to the, although you wouldn't have soldiers involved with the Ondo situation, but let's stay with the terrorism situation. Some commander somewhere knows that they're going to strike 2 days from now. He can formulate a plan and just generally take it out. Now, here I am speaking like somebody just walking the streets.
No, he can formulate a plan to the extent that he's giving the order to act. If he's not giving the order to act, and that is why it is a regimented profession. If he's not giving the order to act, no matter how sound and true the intelligence may be,
he has to wait for orders.
He must wait for order. Look at what happened in Enugu when the governor of Enugu State was quarreling with the presidency. Why? Because the governor heard there was going to be an attack, called the CP. The CP said, I'm going to get in touch with the IG. The IG said, I'm going to get in touch with the president. Before you knew what was happening, 80 people were dead.
I know. I know the way this is sounding. You seem to be suggesting that oftentimes foot dragging on the part of policymakers or the executive could actually have its negative implications.
Not that it could. It does have. Because security is a profession of speed and timeliness. The intelligence you are talking is not static. Intelligence changes. You may have intelligence now that the sect Boko Haram, they are in spot A. And time is of essence. Because as at maybe in the next 2 hours, if you have not been able to execute that intelligence, they might have moved from spot A to spot B. So if you are moving at the wrong time, you will not discover that that intelligence has been what bastardized because of time, lack of time. So it's not a matter of just saying we have information at our disposal. That information must, once it's processed into intelligence, it must be used. If it's not used, it's not intelligence.
Then it's like you have to start all over again.
You have to start all over again.
Okay. The point is also being made that staying on the Zamfara situation, security crisis, whereas we're talking about mining now, and people are happy, some people are happy that, yep, government did the right thing to shut down mining and all of that. I've also heard it said that, well, even on Maria's report, it was said that mining is not the only matter
Mining is
at
not
all.
even the problem.
You don't think it's the main problem?
Mining is not even the problem.
Illegal miners and all of that.
Be it illegal
and you know how
miners and the
dangerous
like.
mining can be.
No, mining cannot be as dangerous
is,
as... you see, there's nothing special
there's
about mining in Zamfara that is not in Niger Delta region. Are you there with me? So it's not a matter of the fact that our mining is the reason why you go to people's houses, kill them as if you are... No, it doesn't work like that. Mining is an economic thing. But what you are seeing the bandits do is the pure act of terrorism.
Okay. So
it's
this is
pure
the point.
Act of terrorism.
Even though you can't rule out the fact that mining, especially illegal mining, can be a highly hazardous occupation. Simply because you extract...
Now that's a different thing. That's for safety. For safety professionals to determine how hazardous it is. To the miners and to the environment.
I'm not talking about
and
safety to their own life and limb. I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about, guns, killing. They don't have licenses. They can't answer. They know they are actively involved in an illegal operation. That is the kind of dangerous...
You see, if that is the problem, the crisis you are talking about will be within mining sites.
Oh, sorry, I beg your pardon. I've had an international call that I've been holding on to. So sorry, Ola in the UK. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. Uncle Yori.
Thank you very much for calling in. Sorry to have kept you waiting a bit.
No, it's all right. I'm actually very, very glad to be on this program this morning.
We're delighted to have you.
Because for a very, very long time, I've been wanting to call in, and it's always busy,
Oh, dear.
I'm a first caller anyway.
Great to have you.
The topic of discourse this morning is a very, very fundamental, important one. When you look at the security measure in Nigeria, it gives you concerns that, look, if this is going on, how or where are we going or where are we heading to? The professional in the house this morning has said a lot. It's more to the government to do a lot. Because when you look at some things, well, I wouldn't say I have concrete evidences, but people in the government have to do a lot. Our politicians have to do a lot. If Nigeria exists, that is when you guys can say you have a country where you have senators, you have governors, or you are president. So we have to come to a round table.
Ola, sorry about that. But with a name like yours, I would have wanted you to say that is when we can say we have a country, not when you guys can say you have a country.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, we can say.
Okay.
We can say we have a country. Yeah. I'm sorry for that. That's when we can say we have a country. So we have to actually call a spade.
All right.
And people like Mr. Tony in the house, I believe he is vast and is highly knowledgeable with his level of information that is given in the house this morning. People like this should be called and give their expertise on how we can actually, solve and have a lasting solution to this problem. Thank you very much, Uncle Yori.
Indeed. Thank you very much for calling in, sir. First of all, you will be the first to admit that there are many highly knowledgeable security pros in the country.
Many.
And we still continue to have this problem. I don't know.
No, you see, there was a time we...
I beg your pardon. Let's just take a break so we can come back and, really, I won't need to interrupt you and we can continue taking your calls. Stay with us, please. Welcome back. We're looking at the baffling spate of insecurity incidents in the country, all over the country. Started last week. Well, I mean, it's always been going on, but last week was, Zamfara. And then, you look at the papers this morning, the Vanguard is in front of me here. It's telling us that 12 cultists have been killed. Tony has said, well, that's a different kind of crime. Lagos, some kidnapping that involved a senior fire officer. But then, we've been talking about how technology has to be brought to bear. The president in faraway Dubai has said that, look, Nigeria, I have it here, it's on the front page of The Nation. He says that Nigeria is taking the lead in cyber policing in West Africa, working with, global agencies. Can't this kind of a thing be adapted for the kind of thing that you are talking about, Tony? Because it shows that we're already in there. And if the president knows that we have taken the lead in cyber policing.
Well, I don't know what the president means by taking the lead in cyber policing. Because even our cyberspace, how secured is it? NISAT 1, NISAT 2 is still as ineffective as any other type alien parastatals in the country. That is why you use Yahoo, you use Gmail. In other climes and in other countries, you have .sa, .uk, and all those stuff like that. You are talking of cyber policing of election and the like.
Since you went there.
No, you see, I don't want us to go into all this
I don't want to go there.
Because
but wait, I must tell you, we have
I may not be on the side of the president on this. How effective is it? What's your email? How effective is it? We've tried it even as organization. We've tried it and we discovered that it's either the mail is not going or it's not as effective. Now, these are areas that, as far as I'm concerned, I think that if you are talking of technology, these are areas that the government should first of all concentrate on. And when you are talking of, you are now the cyber police of elections, is it the election of Nigeria that is almost everywhere in the country is under context now? Almost all the states in the country, you are talking of election, petition in almost every election. That's not the issue. So as far as I'm concerned, the president has gone to Dubai to do a good thing about Nigeria, which I like, I love it, it's okay. But when we come domestically and begin to address our problems, I think as far as the cyberspace is concerned for Nigeria, we're not doing well. Okay. And apart from that, we are still dependent on even other countries. And you are talking about policing. What are you policing when you are not even the architect or the innovation?
Pastor Joseph, is it in Dokbemo? Good morning, sir.
Yeah, Uncle Yori, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for calling in.
And good morning to my beloved brother there.
Good morning, sir.
Mr. Tony
I want to pray for you that God will bless you and bless your generation for the truth you are holding. You and the Babajide on Journalist Hangout.
Thank you, sir.
Babajide,
God will bless you.
Thank you, sir.
God will bless you.
Thank you. Amen,
I pray that the people controlling the country will not buy the truth you have.
Amen.
Because
Amen. Amen.
you are the guy that's supposed to be the president or senior president of this country. God will bless you. And what I want to contribute, we're talking about terrorism. How can we kill terrorism when the government is still recruiting so-called repentant Boko Haram in the army and releasing some in the society? How can such a thing be happening for people that have killed thousands of souls? Is there not something to be done to these people that will be giving more youth strength to join Boko Haram after they will come and surrender so that they will include them in the army? In Nigeria here, either Boko Haram or terrorists killed some of the army. They fired the chief of army staff. But here in Nigeria, many soldiers have been killed. Many people have been killed. The chief of staff still remains there. What is happening in the country? Are they killing animals?
All right, then.
Please, government should do something because we have never seen this kind of insecurity in this country.
Okay.
May God bless this country.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, Pastor Joseph. Really appreciate your calling in. Okay.
Well, I think that I understand it, but I'm not aware that government is recruiting Boko Haram into the military.
As you put it, repentant Boko Haram.
The only thing is that Yes, there have been instances of freeing the so-called repentant Boko Haram. They are reintegrated into the society, and I think that it doesn't work easily like that. Having said so, the fact that government also is not prosecuting those that were arrested is also a big encouragement to terrorism. It's a big boost to terrorism in this country. When you arrest people and 2-3 months later you say that they are repentant and you hand them over to their state governor and they go their way in thousands. It happened in Borno, it happened in Kaduna, it happened in some other states. The military will hand them over to their state governors. I think that is unfair to the families of the bereaved, the families of those that died. Now look at what is happening in Zamfara. Some families will be kidnapped, their wives and children will be kidnapped. They will leave the man and ask the man to go and bring money to free their loved ones. Some of them that could not, they will kill them. Now this is the type of society we are talking about. In a situation where you go to houses and you would, for daring to even challenge them, they will kill them. It is not heard of in any civilized society, especially contemporary society. And we have not heard of any prosecution. The arrests are done in such a manner that in the next 1 month, we are hearing nothing about them again. Okay. If you go and ask any of either the DPO or police officer what happened to these people, the type of reaction you will get as a journalist will be so demoralizing. You will even be threatened that if you don't get out of this place now, we will lock you up for daring to come and do your job.
Okay. Mazi Okoroafo in Arochukwu, good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, Mr. Tony. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
You see, Mr. Tony, sir, you see, there is no state in Nigeria that does not have forest. Because people call it evil forest. That is why you see security people do run away from such a place. Now, ask yourself, like what Mr. Tony have just rightly said, combing of all forests the same week will help reduce these terrorist dens. Because this will have to run simultaneously. Now, you ask about the youth. The youth should be carefully employed. When you look at the people that are doing this terrorist attack, are they old men? These are youth. Now, ask yourself, we are talking about Zamfara. I saw it on the screen, even Algeria and Focus on Africa, that foreigners ban from mining in Zamfara. Now, you ask yourself, can the foreigners who are mining those things in Zamfara establish or build schools, empower those youths in that place? This will create employment for these boys. And they get a license. They know exactly where to go. But the youth are not empowered, no skill, nothing. What do you expect? See, this issue of terrorism is everywhere. But the thing is that as long as the youth are being used as political talks, at the end of the politics, they dump them. They have nothing doing. That is why I say courtism. There is no university in Nigeria that don't have courts. It's just that even the private universities, even the mission universities, just that they are minimal. Federal universities, state universities, what is happening? And the vice chancellors, the lecturers are there. They close their eyes and think they don't know what is happening. You saw what happened in Puto over there. When three boys went and had a night Maroba so-called sex with a girl for how many for a day? How many are there? You see not 4 people involved. What have the federal government done? Are they not seeing it? Parents close their eyes. They don't want to talk. And this will continue increasing. Please, the earlier we solve this problem, the better for this country. If we refuse to solve this problem now, we are creating more problem for this country. That the parents must be involved. Universities must be involved, not only security agents. Thank you, Mr. Tony. God bless you for coming on this program.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Mazi Okoroafo, for your perspectives there. And he seems to be widening the field. Say, look, we have a terrorism problem, criminal gang problem, and all of that. But he seems to widen the field that everybody should be involved, because he said something that, you know, is one of the themes that for some reason has been playing on my mind in recent time. He said it there. He said everybody is looking away. Everybody knows something, But going along the lines of, for some whole reason, nobody wants to say anything. How important is that point? That, you see, we're talking about intelligence here. It's human beings that go and gather intelligence.
You see, I would understand his position to the extent that there are certain information you give. You may not have that concrete evidence, but the information is real and true.
There are people who are able to evaluate that, people, hopefully.
Are you there with me? But when you now see a situation where somebody is saying, give evidence, can we have the evidence? Meanwhile, you are telling a security agency that, please, in that building, I observe that this building is questionable, but I cannot figure it out. Then you now say, give evidence. What type of evidence do you want him to give, other than you as the security agency to do what? To find out. Now, these are areas where if you don't support the people's information to you by encouraging them, and they give you information, you now frustrate them, or the information you now want to put it back on them, you will see they will renege. That's why you see, police was having problem at a time when they say bring information, and they'll give you information, and the next thing you are now the...
Well, yes, on the one hand, but you know, you often see where police people sometimes I said police people.
Police officers.
police
people,
will ask the public for assistance on occasion. If police don't ask for assistance, I can imagine the situation when you are trying to assist. You are a non-professional. You are an amateur. They are highly trained professionals. You are coming with all your ideas. Sometimes it can be a bit of a problem. You might want to comment on that, but Mr. George has been waiting for a while. Good morning, Mr. George.
Good morning, Uncle Yori, and good morning to Tony.
Thank you for calling in.
Uncle Yori, I am of the view that there is political connotation to this heightened insecurity soon after the election. You can imagine the statement somebody just made a while ago, that the government is not performing, and they have made a mistake by recruiting repentant Boko Haram into the army. Can they prove that? If he has proof, let him come to the open, and we will call Buratai to come and give evidence. You see, Uncle Yori, before the elections, you saw that there were several discoveries of arms that came into the country. Up to today, we don't know who brought in those arms. All we are hearing is that these so-called bandits, that the arms they are using is more sophisticated than that of the police.
Yeah.
All those are the issues that we need to address. You see, the police, I've been an advocate that the police needs to be, reformed. Kidnapping grew out of hand before the very eyes of the police because they handled it with kid gloves. Today, kidnapping is no longer within the ambit that the police can handle. Because when it started, they didn't they were conniving with them. Somebody will be kidnapped, police will tell you they rescued him. Meanwhile, police was the agent in giving money to the kidnapper. How do you rescue somebody when there was no evidence that, okay, if you rescued somebody, where are the culprits? Where are the people you rescued him from? None of them is arrested. That is to tell you that the police was playing game. We need to reform our police and equip them very well. The way the insecurity is just coming up soon after the election, Uncle Yori, look at the spots where they are all coming from, and look at the election results from those areas. We have to say the truth in this country. If you don't like somebody that won, you want to spoil the country for him. Who is patriotic and who is unpatriotic in that sense? Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you very much, Mr. George. He touched on something I've wondered about myself when he said he wouldn't be surprised if there weren't a political aspect to some of these, what police refer to as nefarious activities.
Well, I don't think the issue is political. The same thing happened, when Goodluck Jonathan was president. Even at the wake of Buhari taking over as president in 2015, we had high level of insurgents. Insurgents had been on since the beginning of President Jonathan's era, and it's only been increasing by the day. And if you ask me, I will tell you that it is also because the government itself had been involving too much of cover-ups.
Okay.
Too much of
Okay.
cover-ups. He made mention of a very good example of what happened to the pump actions.
Yes.
On two different occasions.
Yeah.
You know, one 2,000 plus, the other one 1,000 plus.
And those are the ones we found.
Yes,
those are the ones we found.
Those are the ones that, yes, almost 4,000 pump actions. Now, those pump actions are not the old model pump action. They are more sophisticated than the conventional pump action. Now, I think sometime last year, we had arrest of even that same pump action being recovered from one of the bandits. Now, the issue is this. When you say you arrested or you were able to recover those, where are the guns now? They are not in the hand of the police. I've not seen any in the hand of the police. I've not seen any in the hand of any of the military forces to say that, okay, maybe you distributed it to them, which is what we expected you to do. Now, who are those people that brought them in? By now, the custom will be aware. What happened? Why are you concealing their names? And you are able to parade armed robber that stole 5,000 naira. You are able to parade armed robber that stole how much? Okay. And you are not able to parade an importer and sponsor of importation of arms and ammunition. On what ground?
Reverend Dominic, thank you very much for holding on all this while. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Yori.
Thank you for calling in.
Johnny.
Good morning, sir.
I wish you give me 50 seconds.
Yeah, take it.
Yori, I will not say what I'm saying now by January this year. Yori, there is a complications in security architecture. The blood is flowing too many. What we have to do now, and we have to speak this truth now, because if I say this on January, they will give me a name they are calling me. Yori, the security chiefs have overstayed their welcome. PDP, I was saying it last year, we talked about it's about campaign, it's about blackmail. But the truth must speak the truth. We must speak truth and be free from this shenanigans. The security architecture, the security chiefs have overstayed their welcome. Why did I say that? Remember, I'm from Southeast. People in the Southeast are crying. There's no security chief from Southeast or South-South. All of them is from North Central or Northeast. But I used to tell them, what safety have you given to the Northeast? If all of them is from the North, and the whole bloodshedding, most of the time, is from the North. It's not about somebody who is there. It's about to secure Nigeria. They have stayed over welcome. If Buhari comes back, our president come back, please I beg him, let these people go. They have tried their best. They may not be in the trouble, but they have tried their best. And the time you be in a situation, you get confusion of that situation. Let's get a new blood, a new idea, a new man to see if we can stop this bloodshed. It's one too many. We want to have a nation to govern even before they die. 50 today, 30 tomorrow. You will ask myself, is this number are chickens or human beings like you and I? There's a problem in Igbo that if you carry somebody's corpse, it's like you carry a dead wood. And I've come like that. Because it doesn't happen to us direct. We speak over it. 6 in Rondo, 10 in nowhere, 20 in the River State. It's like we're counting chickens.
It's too much.
Even chickens, people that operate poultry, don't kill their chickens prematurely. Please, they have stayed their welcome.
Thank you, Dominic. Appreciate your call. Thank you very much, Dominic, Reverend Dominic, for calling in. What do you think about the tired leg syndrome?
No,
that he thinks?
no, the problem is not tired leg syndromes. I disagree with the Reverend. The problem is with the system, not with the
Well, he
people.
talked about the architecture.
No, yes.
He said the whole security architecture
yes, the security
is out of whack, according to him. And one of the ways to solve it, he mentioned, was maybe we should just fresh ideas. Maybe we need fresh ideas. What do you think about that?
If you have fresh ideas, that fresh idea will stop on somebody's table.
It will stop on this table.
Somebody's table.
Okay, because, okay. Well, it will then have to battle with convention.
See, look,
you know,
the problem, when we've had this same argument of let's change service chiefs, almost year in, year out.
You don't think it's going to help?
Change in IGPs, year in, year out.
Yeah.
But the question is, to what extent has it helped? The issue is not changing anybody. I don't have problem with changing them. I agree. Of course, whether you advocate or you don't advocate,
they will change them.
They will change them.
Yes.
So the issue is not even advocating that they should be changed. The issue is the system itself, the security architecture itself, the political will itself, the determination itself. They are major factors. In short, those are the major factors.
You've mixed many things together in there, and all of them must be able to coexist within the security architecture that Dominic was talking all about.
I agree with you.
Let me quickly bring in Yakub. Good morning, Yakub.
Yeah, Security, good morning, sir.
Thank you for calling in, sir.
Mr. Ofoyasan, good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, I love what Mr. Ofoyasan has been saying since morning. Mr. Ayori, the question is this. Last time, Colonel Ahmad Ali, they arrested a lot of armed people that brought harm into this country. They arrested some of them last time. Security, how far the case has been going? Nigeria did not know anything. They will be telling us that they see arm and ammunition, they see 1,000, they see 500. Where is this ammunition coming from? Who are those people who import all those ammunition? They have, as Mr. Ofoyasan rightly said earlier, ordinary people that steal 100 naira, ordinary people that steal phone, they will be paraded them. What happened to those people who beyond all those ammunition that they brought to this country? We don't know anything.
That's one of the paradoxes. We've been living with this paradox for decades.
It is absurd. Mr. President needs to just give up and then do the needful. We that we supported him, we had supported him, we support Mr. President, all because he told us that want to fight insecurity, he wants to fight corruption and all that. You should not let us withdraw our support. That is the truth. It's killing too much. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you very, very much, Yakub. I mean, because people are getting hot, you know, and understandably, because who was it that said it's like we're counting chickens?
No, it's even worse than chicken, like he rightly said. In your poultry farm, if this volume of chicken dies, you need
sit down and have
an emergency on that poultry farm.
So what's our conclusion now? Is it the security architecture that needs to be fixed? Is it our political will that needs to be fixed? I mean, how do we stop what we started with? Zamfara, Lagos, you know, Kaduna. What's going on? Is there one liner with which we can finish?
Until the government begin to parade those that are caught and that are the main sponsors, the backbone of terrorism in this country, from the Senate, from the police, House of Rep, from the army. Until that time, we'll keep having the same problem.
Wow, that's heavy. But thank you very much, Tony. Tony Ofoyasan, DG, Director General, International Institute of Professional Security. The man is also a lawyer. Thank you very, very much for coming on the program.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so that's our program. Please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I'm Yori Folari. Have a great day.